Yo, 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 yo. What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Jay Jordan back again with another live stream. Actually, this is the first live stream of its kind. I usually just live stream the watch alongs, but today I decided it's been a while since we've been on the stream. Last time we were on was game two, and I was sitting back like this, covering my face, sort of depressed because we got smoked up in that second game. Well, both games we got killed. But it's good to be back. If you're new to the channel, this is Jay.JordanTV Liberty. We focus on the Liberty first of all, but we also cover things all around the WNBA. I wanted to take this live stream to talk about last game, which was game three of the WNBA 2023 finals, and game four, which is tomorrow, October 18th. We're in we're in for a good game tomorrow. We got some unfortunate news with some of the Aces players, which we'll get into later. But I wanted to focus on game three for the first part of this stream. The Liberty beat the Aces 87-73. That was the first game in the first win the Liberty have had in the finals since '99 when Teresa Witherspoon hit the game two shot to send it to a game three. That's when the finals back in '99 were a best of three series. They were playing the Houston Comets at the time. They were going for the three-peat. Teresa Witherspoon shoots a half court three to win that game two and send it to a game three, which we ultimately ended up losing. Um, Actually, I think I have the shot here on YouTube. I just want to play it for y'all right quick. Let me make sure I can get this queued up properly before I jam us all up. Yeah, let's put that up here. Yeah, see if I go full screen, what happens. Let's see. You can see most of it. Quality is terrible. Mike Breen on the call. Teresa Witherspoon hits the shot and sends us to game two in the WNBA finals. Unfortunately, quality is pretty terrible back then, as you can see, but she hit a big shot for us. So you see, final score was 68-67. We were down, and she hits a three, which was a very exciting time in the city, but unfortunately, we couldn't pull off the win. But the Aces lost this game, and they lost a few key players in this game as well. They lost Chelsea Gray and Kia Stokes. Chelsea Gray hobbled off the court in the fourth quarter. Nobody knew what was really up with her. I was actually at the game, and I didn't even recognize that she wasn't on the floor until I saw Kirsten Bell checked in, and I got an alert on my phone saying that Chelsea Gray was headed to the locker room. I know the people who were watching on TV, they were showing shots of her in the tunnel and whatnot, but in the actual game, unless you were probably on that side of the floor, you didn't even really see anything. It looked like she just stepped wrong, and it was over for her after that. Prayers to her. Hopefully she gets better soon. Hopefully it's not nothing career ending or anything like that, and she can come back. But let's touch on the box score and the leading scorers. Put this up on the screen for us. So we got Kelsey Plum. She's been killing us all series long. Another 20-plus point game. She had 29. John Quell, my Bahamian sister, salute to her. She had 27. In the rebounding category, Asia Wilson led them with 11, and Stewie came through with 12. She had a double-double. We'll look at that later. In the assist category, Jackie Young had 5, and Sabrina, although she hasn't been shooting the ball particularly well, she contributed with 11 assists. The Liberty made a concerted effort to get into the paint. They were really penetrating and then kicking it out, or penetrating and getting layups, and that's what we really needed to focus on. We were relying too much on the three-point shot. Even though we were getting good looks, they were all missing. I don't know if that was nerves or we just hit a bad shooting slump at the worst time, but This game, it was much better in that regard. RC, my guy, I was like, man, I haven't spoken to my guy in a minute. What's going on, bro? Just going over game three right now, and then we're gonna touch on the news that came out and game four. Um, but yeah, the Liberty did much better from 3 point range, as you can see down here. They shot 43% compared to the 20s and 30s they've been shooting. They limited the turnovers. They only had 11 compared to the Aces 13, and we out rebounded them by one. Yeah, RC, I know you got a lot to say, my guy. I know you got a lot to say. Um, but yeah, the Aces didn't have a particularly good shooting game. They've been shooting 50 and 60% in the first two games, and it dropped down to 33.3%. The Liberty, they did change a little bit of the matchups. They put Brianna Stewart on Chelsea Gray, had Benijah on Jackie Young. They opted to put Sabrina on the big, whether it was Alicia Clark or Kia Stokes, and then they just had Sloot on Kelsey Plum, and that's why Kelsey Plum was able to. She was going at everybody. She went at Stewie, she went at Marine, she went at Sabrina, she went at Sloot. No matter who was in front of her, it felt like Kelsey Plum was getting to the open three, or she was dicing and slicing and getting to the paint and shooting that floater. She was really keeping them in it um, throughout the game. Looking at the quarters up here, you can see Las Vegas. The New York was up 21-18. By the time I got into the arena, I think it was probably 7 or 6 minutes left in the first quarter. It was a packed house. Out the security lines were long. I think I got there maybe 10 minutes before tip off, and it was crazy out there. The stat that they did put out, which I want to touch on, is that I think this was the highest gate receipts, the highest W gate receipts game in history. Gate receipts meaning the amount of tickets sold, I guess. Instead of, usually they give away tickets to people, but I guess that was the amount of tickets sold, and it was the highest in W history, which is a good thing to see for the W, a good thing to see for women's sports. RC in the chat says, Caitlin, Jay, I would have been there, but I was putting the finishing touches at the Kenny game video. Almost 56,000 came out to watch. I did see that. I did see the reporting on that. It looked weird because the court was like on one side of the field and the stadium was packed. So I was like, how do people really get to see? I mean, I guess that's how it is in football when they're all the way down by the goal line. But it was an interesting layout. But I heard that's usually what they do. RC says, you heard about the crossover at Kinnick, right? Yeah, I did hear about that. Did Michaela TT, what's going on? I just saw you in the chat. What's going on? But let's take a look at the box score right quick because I don't want to be here too long. It is 9 p.m. on the East Coast. Literally just got home from work not too long ago, but I wanted to touch base with the folks on the stream. Looking at the box score for the Aces, Asia Wilson played 35 minutes. Didn't shoot particularly well, 4 for 16. She did have a double double with 16 and 11. Kia Stokes, 19 minutes, didn't score, but she did have 9 rebounds. Chelsea Gray, 11 points in 34 minutes, only had 2 assists. I guess the matchup with Stewie on her with the longer arms, bigger body, sort of threw her off her game. She was only 4 for 12. Kelsey Plum played all 40 minutes, 10 for 22, had 29 points, 5 for 10 from three. She was getting whatever she wanted. Jackie Young didn't have a good game, played 38 minutes, 2 for 9, 8 points, 5 assists. I think Benijah was guarding her a majority of the time. So the defensive matchup switches, the cross matches really threw the Aces off. Alicia Clark played 27 minutes, only had 9 points, 5 rebounds. And the rest of the players, they came in when they were waving the white flag, essentially. For the Liberty, Benijah Laney, 35 minutes, had 12 points, 5 for 8 overall, 2 for 5 from three. Stewie had 20 and 12 on 50% shooting. John Quell was the savior. She had 4 threes, 4 out of 7 from three, 10 for 15 overall, 27 points, 8 rebounds. She was 3 blocks. She had a nice block, was sent it into the first row and gave a little Dikembe finger wag which was nice to see. And Courtney Vandersloot, very a little bit more aggressive, looking for a shot. Hit the shots that she did take. 12 points, 6 assists, 7 rebounds, 5 for 10. And Sabrina still struggling on her shot. They really playing her tough, but she did come away with 11 assists, as I mentioned, 9 points, but still struggling from shooting, 3 of 9 shooting. Kayla Thornton hit 2 threes. The rest of the bench didn't really do anything. Marine came in. She was getting abused on defense. Only had a point. Looking at the chat, RC says Chelsea Green, Kia Stokes out. I'm praying Candace Parker walks through the door. Man, oh man, things just got real. The series might become a toss up. Yeah, bro. We gonna touch on that in a few seconds here. I do want to look at the team stats a little bit before we get there. I did mention the turnovers. Aces had more turnovers this game. The Liberty did have more fouls, which is interesting. The free throw, the Aces shot more free throws. They shot 23 free throws. Liberty only shot 16. They were missing a lot. 8 for 16, 50%. This game could have been more, but we were missing a lot of free throws. Pause this video here. If we can't shoot 50% and expect to win a lot of games like that, we need to up that considerably here. The assists, we out assisted them 28-13. That was the main difference. But otherwise, it was a great game. The energy the energy in the arena was crazy. Of course, it's New York. A lot of celebrities and people came. Joan Jett, she was a big Liberty fan from like when the W first came. She was there. Who else was there? They had our ring of honor people. We had Teresa Weatherspoon, Sue Wicks, Vicky Johnson. Who else we had there? We had them there. Sue Wicks is usually at every game. Teresa, salute to her. She got the Chicago Sky coaching job, so salute to her on that. I think Aubrey Plaza was there. Swiss Beats. Lil Kim performed at halftime. It was crazy. It was good to see, though. Of course, the Brooklyn Nets, Mikal Bridges was always there supporting the team. So it was good to see the support. It was good to look up, and I saw all the upper places that usually are curtained off were all packed. People were jumping up and down, cheering on the team. I was just sitting down, really just nervous, honestly. Nervous until that third quarter when we limited them to 10 points. Oh yeah, Jason Sudeikis. What's up, Jeremiah Cherry? What's going on? Salute to you. Yeah, Sudeikis is there. He's been at a lot of games. Jason Sudeikis. He was there as well. Who else was there that I'm missing? There was so many people there. They just kept popping them up on the screen all the time. Um, everybody was there basically. Before we get into the next game and the news about Chelsea Gray and Kia Stokes, I did want to take a look at the news that came before the game. I forgot to touch on this. Let's take a look here. They released the all WNBA first and second teams. I wanted to take a look at that. So the first team, this year they went away from positional choices, so you didn't have to make sure you had 2 guards and then 3 forwards and then the center. They just said all positions are all good to choose from. So Brianna Stewart, Alyssa Thomas, Asia Wilson is who we probably expected as the 3 leading MVP candidates throughout the season. And then we had Nafisa Collier, who was in the MVP discussion, even though she was probably in that second tier with who else was in that tier? It was Nafisa and I think Satu and somebody else was in that second tier or like a long shot to make it. And Satu, who won most improved. I think the top 3, definitely we expected that. I want to know your thoughts about this team here. Who do you think deserved to be on it? Do you think somebody deserved to make it on the first team and didn't make it at all? Do you think this team is okay? Let me know in the chat. What are your thoughts on that? I'm looking at the chat. RC says, if we lose the next game, all pressure is on us. Life comes at you fast. Listen, man, that's who you play. It ain't over till it's over, you know? But let me know what your thoughts are on this on this first all WNBA first team for 2023. I think it's a solid list. I saw a lot of discussion online about how did Jewel Lloyd not make it, and that people were saying take Satu off. I was like, I don't know. I mean, Jewel Lloyd, she did lead the leading in scoring. Um, I guess the voters gave an edge because her team wasn't as good. So I guess they figured those scoring, leading the league in scoring led to empty stats. I guess. So it's interesting to see because all these teams um made the playoffs and were like top. I think yeah. Aces were one, Liberty were two, Connecticut was three, Wings were four, and I think Minnesota was six. Yeah, because they played the three seed. So Minnesota was six, and Nafisa was having a MVP type year before she went out a couple games, and the Lynx fell off a little bit. But I think this team is solid. Honestly, I think this team is solid. Um, let's go down to the second team. I think I bookmarked all of these. I bookmarked this second one. Here we go. All WNBA second team. Let's take a look at this. So second team was Nneka Ogwumike, Jackie Young, Chelsea Gray, Jewel Lord, and Sabrina Ionescu. So in out of the first and second team, we got three aces, two Liberty, and you see Jewel Lord made it here on the second team. What are your thoughts on this team? Do you think anybody should be moved up, should be moved off and replaced? What are your thoughts? I know Nneka was in that MVP discussion early on in the season. She was killing, but then with all the injuries and everybody sort of down and out for that team, they fell off the pace and missed the playoffs. But what are your thoughts on this team? RC says, Jay, you feel better about y'all chances now that we getting bashed by the injury bug? Yeah, bro. I would be a liar if I said I didn't feel better about our chances now because Chelsea's y'all engine. So I would be a liar if I said that I didn't feel we had a better chance. And then Kia was a big body who could rebound. So that's something that can't be replaced at this time of the season. But the second team, they were saying Kelsey Plum should have made it instead of Sabrina. Um, RC says definitely not bad at all. That second team five stuff. Maybe NECA can be switched for Enrique, though. I'm just saying. Yeah, I could see that. I know she was in that MVP sort of discussion early on, but I don't know if the second team and first team are tied to team success during the season or it's just individual stats. I mean, it depends on how the voters are looking at it. I don't know the credentials that they're looking at to make these teams, but Jewel made it as second team, and her team was probably second worst in the league. But they couldn't deny her because she, I guess, broke the league scoring record. So how could she not be all WNBA, right? But I think this team is solid as well. Sabrina, she broke the 3-point record, right? So I guess she had to make it for that as well. And then Chelsea and Jackie do what they do best, honestly. So I think this team is pretty solid. I can see Enrique should have made it probably. Dallas should have had another representative. Who else was out there? People were talking about Dewana Bonner should have made it on the at least the second team and move Sabrina off. I could see that as well. But it should be interesting to the discussion around these teams. I mean, it's already said there's nothing they can do, but it's interesting to see the discussion who people think should have made it and shouldn't have made it. All right, let's get to the news that we've all been waiting for. It was reported yesterday actually that the Aces had canceled their shoot around slash, I guess post shoot around, press conference. So that had me a little alarmed there after what we saw on Sunday with Chelsea Gray limping off the court, and they had her screaming on the broadcast in the back of the Barclays, trying to because she couldn't put any pressure on her. I think it was her right foot, if I remember correctly. RC says Becky gonna say something along those lines. We'll see. Anything is possible about Candace coming back. She's trying to mind screw we the fans. I'll touch on that right now, my brother. I'm gonna touch on that right now. Um, but once they canceled that yesterday, I was a little alarmed about all of that. I thought the worst for Chelsea because if they canceled the shoot around and the press game and the post shoot around press conference, so I was a little concerned there. But today they definitely had the press. Yeah, I think it was her. Well, let's see. They say Chelsea Gray left foot. Yeah, it was her left foot. Um, so they had the press conference today. They had shoot around today. Um, and they saw that Chelsea was on a scooter. I was like, when I heard scooter, I thought it was like the thing you see the in the supermarket when the older folks be sitting on the scooter like that. But it was just one of those one leg sort of scooters. I could actually show you on the screen. Um, yeah, so she's on that type of scooter. Her and Kia Stokes. Kia Stokes is on crutches in a boot, and Chelsea Gray. I think she has a boot on that left foot, and she's on a little scooter here. RC says, "Did you see the game from the TV angle? But did you know they showed Chelsea's limp and fall? Yeah, I did. When I came, I think when I looked on social media, I ended up seeing it. But so that threw me off a lot. I was like, what's going on? That threw me off a lot. But something happened to my mic. I hope you guys can hear me. I feel like it's breaking up a little bit, but they haven't reported exactly what it was, so I'm not sure what the deal is going to be there. Um, let's. RC says, Jay, I tried to find your IG and Twitter. What's your handle on there? It's at J.JordanTV Liberty. At J.JordanTV Liberty. But yeah, it was very alarming. But as you can see, she's in the boot and Kia Stokes in the boot. I think it was reported that I have a lot of things bookmarked here, but I think it was reported that Candace Parker is not going to be able um, to to play tomorrow. I think they basically marked her as out. Let me see if I can find that tweet. I bookmarked so many things so I could talk about today. Um, but let's see if I can find it. Oh yeah, this is it from Alexa Philippou. I think she covers a lot of the WNBA. She said that Candace Park, the official injury report came out, and they said Candace Parker out, Chelsea Gray out, Kia Stokes out. That's all foot injuries for the Aces right now. Candace Parker, it looked like she was walking around, but now they're reporting her as out for Game 4. Chelsea Gray out for Game 4. Kia Stokes out with a right foot for Game 4. Kia Stokes was the surprising one because we didn't see anything about it after the game, but now it was reported she's out. So that was a little concerning, especially if you're an Aces fan. Or she says, I knew damn well CP3 wasn't coming to the final. She ain't ready. Yeah, I mean, it's difference between just walking around, bro, and running up and down the court, especially if you haven't played in, it feels like she hasn't played in 3-4 months, right? I can't even remember when she went out, but she hasn't played in a long time. So to come back in a game 4 and they're gonna need you because they're missing Chelsea and Kia, it might have been crazy. But another one that I bookmarked, I think this tweet here from Jackie Powell. I think she works. She's a beat on the Liberty beat as well. She said Kayla George and Alicia Clark aren't wearing the gray pennies usually worn by the bench players. Presumably, AC plays the 3 and Kayla George replaces Kia Stokes at the 5, along with Jackie Young, Asia Wilson, and Kelsey Plum. So that's something that caught my eye as well, because the lineup I was thinking was probably Plum, Jackie. I had Kirsten Bell then I had Alicia Clark and Asia Wilson. That's the five I was thinking. Or even if they wanted to put Sydney Colson, Kelsey Plum, Jackie Young, Alicia Clark, and Asia Wilson. So I was thinking one of those two fives, but starting both Kayla and AC, I don't know. I don't know. What are your thoughts, RC? You're the Aces fan. What do you think? So Alicia Clark got to go for double digits in scoring and rebounding, and Kirsten Bell can't stand around. We need epic energy from both. Yeah, you're gonna need somebody unexpectedly to have one of the biggest games of their career, honestly, because starting Kayla George and AC, I know they want to put a big body on Sean Quell and they don't want Asia to get in foul trouble. But then somebody got to guard Stewie. You don't want Stewie to get off. So it's a catch 22 sort of situation there. But Becky Hammond is a professional. She's one of the best coaches around. I know she'll figure out a way. Um, but it's unfortunate because um, if the Liberty do win Game 4 and go on to win Game 5, they're gonna be like, "Oh, the Aces were missing it. The Liberty got lucky." Um, but listen, we can only play who's in front of us. RC says, "JS, for your Liberty people tried to clown Sabrina for only having 8 points, but 11 assists and 3 blocks." Yeah, the 11 assists were huge. Even though she's struggling on the shot, she hit some timely ones, but she's also contributing in other ways, which I mean, I wish her shot would be more consistent at this point in the season, but I can't complain that she assisted 11 times. That led to multiple buckets, like 11 assists. That's at least 22 points. If you mix in some threes there, she probably assisted on 30 points that we had. So I thank her for playing her role and playing it well. All right. So that's on what I saw today leading up to game 4. Game 4 is tomorrow. It is on, I think it's on ESPN. Let me verify. Yeah, it's on ESPN. Game 4 tomorrow, ESPN. Make sure you're there. There won't be a watch along again. I will be at that game. Um, the game is at 8 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you're tuned into ESPN for that. RC says, Jay, Kayla George plays like her joints are 88 years old, disappointing most of the year. Yeah, the few times I've watched the Aces and I see her get minutes, it looks like she's like Bambi out there. She can't find a footing. So it'll be interesting to see what what Becky does. She doesn't have any more cards to play really. She has to play the bench now, and it'll be interesting to see who steps up or who wilts under the pressure. Excuse me. But for my Liberty, we can't fall asleep on this team. They still have the Asia Wilson MVP candidate. They still have Kelsey Plum, who's been killing us all series, and they still have Jackie Young, who besides last game has been killing us. So we still got to come out with the same aggression we came out with on Sunday. Punch them in the mouth from jump, play solid defense, try and stay in front of our player, our man, as soon as much as possible, and hit some shots. Honestly, you got to go back to John Quell in the post. They don't have Kia Stokes to guard her. She just got to go to work down there. So that's really what needs to happen tomorrow. I'll be very disappointed if we lose game 4 tomorrow at home while they're down. RC says Asia Wilson coming out like King Kong tomorrow. I mean, I hope not for our sake. And I hope if she does, I hope Stewie or John Quell can match her, and then the others pick up the rest of the slack. I need Sloot to continue to do what she did last game. She hasn't been getting the high assists like she did during the season, but going to the basket, hitting timely threes. It'll be very interesting. Jemai Cherry said I have class tomorrow night, but my friend is gonna be there. Yeah, I get off of work 7:30, so I'm gonna have to just hop on the train and head straight to the arena. Hopefully, it doesn't take me forever to get in again. I will be posting on my IG stories at the game. With all those people in Barclays, the service gets pretty poor. So sometimes my posts don't go through until much later in the game. But if you follow it at J.Jordan TV Liberty, be able to see all of the live footage that I have at the game. Um, Jay, what do you think about John Call's four threes? Big. Those threes were big, especially the timeliness of them all. It would be times when the Aces were making a run and our offense starting getting bogged down. She would just catch it, cash. There was one time, I think on my IG story, I caught her hitting one of the threes actually. Um, it was in I think the fourth quarter, third, fourth quarter. Um, it's different during the regular season. During the regular season, they usually end the game shooting at the basket further away from me. But this game, they switched over, so the Liberty closed the game in front of their own bench, and I was on that side. I think she caught it, did a little pump fake, and then pulled in Asia's face, cashed it in. I was like, oh, she's really feeling it tonight, and we needed all four of those threes, all four of those threes. I don't know if she can replicate 4 for 7 again. I think it's the most three she's hit in a Liberty uniform, or tied for most. But it's a welcome surprise, and I'll take it any day of the week. Before I get out of here, it's interesting to look at the scores from these games. None of these games throughout the season have been really close. Aces beat us 99-82 game 1. They destroyed us 104-76 game 2, and then we beat them 87-73 in game 3. Game 4 will be the ninth time the Liberty and Aces have played this season. It's insane. I don't think I've ever seen this in W history. A team play each other 9 times in a season. We played them 5 times in the regular season if you include Commissioner's Cup, and we've played them 3 times, about to be a 4th time tomorrow. So we're gonna be at the end of tomorrow. We would have played them 9 times, and potentially, if the Liberty win, would have played them a 10th time. The teams that everybody thought would be so evenly matched, it would come down to last second shots, have not panned out the way that we all thought. I think the closest game was like an 8-9 point win by the Liberty, maybe, or by the Aces. It's crazy. It's only because we only got 12 teams. Yeah. But geez, I mean, and they extended the season, of course, so that the team's got to play somebody. But it's crazy. 9, potentially 10 times in the season. Both coaches, unless Becky or Sandy were hiding something in their back pocket, both teams know what the other is trying to accomplish. The Chelsea Gray injury does throw a wrench in there, so let's see how Becky adjusts there. And I hope the Liberty don't take their foot off the gas, because if you still look at the series, La Vegas is still up 2-1, and you don't want to be embarrassed by a team missing 3 of their starters, with Candace, Kia, and Chelsea. So Liberty got to come out focused tomorrow, and hopefully we can beat the Aces and send it to a decisive game 5. Talking about game 5, Becky Hammond gonna have to suit up tomorrow, Jay, and I'll leave you with that. Oh man, imagine player coach like some Bill Russell timing from back in the day. But before I get out of here, I just wanted to do a quick video. But before I get out of here, if the Liberty make it to a game 5, I may have something special planned in terms of content. I'm keeping an eye on these tickets, these flight prices, and these game 5 tickets. So I may have some nice content if the Liberty do make it to a game 5 and have to go to Las Vegas. So keep your eye out for that. I'll keep y'all updated whether I will have to watch along or something else. And then we'll head on from there. Big Friend Breezy, what's good, my guy? We still got to link up. I didn't forget. Liberty winning tomorrow for sure. Definitely, bro. Definitely. I'll be in the building. As again, no watch along tomorrow. Games at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Liberty trying to force a game 5. Aces trying to win back-to-back championships. Salute to everybody in the chat. I know it was a last-minute stream. I just thought about it as I was on my way. Once the the Kia Stokes and Chelsea Gray news broke, I was like, man, I haven't talked about Game 3, and we definitely got to talk about Game 4. What's up, Janelle? So I'm glad I was able to hop on. Salute to everybody in the chat, on the YouTube, on the Twitch. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video. I'll be back. Don't know yet. Maybe after the game tomorrow, if I get home in time. I try to do it on Sunday, but traffic trying to get home from Brooklyn was insane. It took me almost 2 hours, an hour and a half, 2 hours to get home. By the time I got home, I was so frustrated. I just took a shower and went to sleep. But until next time, guys, appreciate y'all tuning in. Salute, and I'm out of here.